Hi everyone, Simon here from Sterling Coaching in this week's Monday's Moment, in which I'm going to talk about why focus is so important and that we should focus on what matters to us right now. See you in a moment. Now, I was reading the other day in an article, and there was a verse from Philippians chapter 3 verse 14, and in this it says, I press towards the goal for the prize. And obviously with the current public health crisis that we're all in around the globe, I've been talking to lots and lots of different clients, other coaches as well, and the thing that's become really, really important is that we need to focus on what matters to us. And the reason we need to do that, and lots of people have found that focus helps them get clarity, it helps them get direction. And Mike Michalowicz, in his new and upcoming book, Fix This Next, which is released at the end of April, talks about this in his book and also in the document that he has allowed me to share, which is the Recession Response Plan, which is a document which helps businesses work through various areas that they need to work on in times like this. But the quote that really came to mind is that the mind will not focus until it has a goal. So we can all talk about being focused, but unless we have a goal, we have nothing to focus on, and our mind will be scattergun all the time. So as we think about the goals, and we're not talking about final destinations, we're not talking about long-term goals, we're actually talking about the importance of spending some time each day, each week in this current crisis, of just lifting our heads up and looking forward to a goal. Okay? And as we do that, we should make sure that, number one, our goals are clear enough to be kept in focus. Number two, that they're close enough to be achieved. Really important right now. And number three, that they're helpful enough to change lives. Now, in that recession plan that I talked about, one of the things it mentions, and I've got it just here, just bear with me a second. Two things. It talks about debt control and debt management. And one of the things it mentions here is that we shouldn't take on new debt to maintain business as usual. Okay? And then the next section talks about strategic planning and the opportunity to focus on recession opportunities. And that's really important in this Monday's Moment. So what I want you to do, I want you each to take a few moments each day, or at least each week. Obviously, take some time out of the current crisis that you're in and look at things that you can set as goals. Things that are probably 2-3 weeks away or 2 months away. That might feel really difficult at the moment. But these are goals. These are things that then we need to become absolutely focused on. And I'm just going to put a sketch up here now that comes from Mike's book, Fix This Next, and the evaluation. And that is that many of us, in times like this, we are in point A. We're all in this crisis at the moment. But what we do is we put so much energy into getting away from point A. But what we don't have is a clarity of point B, a goal. Because we can all go off in different directions and we feel that we're moving away from point A. We're moving away from the crisis that we've got now. But what we don't realise is those directions might be in the complete opposite way to where we want to be to get to point B. So it's important to have some goals. And I was talking to some banks and some finance providers the other day, and when they were talking about getting business interruption loans, etc., to help people cope with this, that what they want to see is that a business in 2019 is going to be a good business in 2021. So even for that application process, you've got to lift up and you've got to look to 2021. You've got to look at the future. Some of us will be thriving right now. Some of us will have opportunities right now. The pubs that are doing changing their distilleries into bottling hand sanitizer. There are couriers taking on more staff, Amazon taking on more people, shopping, grocery stores taking on more people. But the thing we can all do is we can look at some goals. Okay, so just to remind you, they've got to be clear enough. They've got to have clarity. They've got to have detail so that we can keep them in focus. They've got to be close enough to be achieved. Don't set goals for 5 years, 3 years out. Set goals for weeks ahead, 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, beginning of 2021. And they should be helpful enough to change lives. If your business is not going to be different as it comes out of this crisis, then you're going to struggle. I've seen this in recessions in 2009. I was talking about this on a webinar the other day. If you are not taking the opportunity of looking at ideas, sitting down and thinking about how you can do things differently. I've just got a call finished with a client, and I've told him he's got to spend some time looking at whether he should put more of his business online or do business in a different way. You know, if you're going to be the same as you come out of this, then you're not going to survive for very long on the other side. So it cannot be business as usual. So take some time, write those goals down, and then focus on those goals. Every so often, lift your head out of the crisis. If you've got a team, share their goals with them. Become the leader. I mentioned in the very first session today with a client about Winston Churchill and the way that he motivated people in England and the rest of the UK and the other armed forces as well, through giving them hope. He was positive. He gave them hope. He gave them an idea that things were going to be better. You need to do the same with your team. You need to do the same with yourself. Those people who are struggling on their own as business owners, remove that anxiety. Be grateful for what you've got. I know that's difficult to hear right now, but really lift your eyes up, set a goal, then focus on it, and that's where you'll head. I hope you take some time to do that this week. My name's Simon from Sterling Coaching. If you want to schedule some time with me to talk about anything at all, I promise no sales pitch. Just go to timewithsimon.com, www.timewithsimon.com, and I'm happy to spend a 30 to 60 minute session with you. Be safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you on next week's Monday's Moment. Bye for now.